Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
In 2025, what is your feelings about, and just for your business, competition?
Oh, here we go. Well, I break it down into different categories.
Okay.
So, like for toys, I have competition in Rochester because there's other toy shops. So I want to try and beat the competition as far as buying collections so I can sell them online.
Okay.
And then on Amazon, I have to compete with toy sellers on Amazon. So I want to make sure I can buy it cheap enough where I can compete with the lower prices on Amazon. For adult items, that's a different story. I can tend to buy them a lot cheaper because there's not many people that have, well, even on adult stuff too, regular stuff as far as magazines go. Obviously, you've witnessed, we've bought 2 huge collections lately. You get them cheap enough. You buy them cheap enough, you can sell them cheap enough, and there's not much competition with people out there buying truckloads of items, even at $1 a piece, because you need listers, you need storage. So I'm fortunate when it comes to that type of stuff all over the country. I scarf up a lot of collections because I have that advantage. There's very little competition when it comes to bulk buyers as far as magazines go and adult stuff. I used to get stressed out back in the day, like, I need to buy this collection, or I need to buy this. Now I don't care so much because I have so much inventory that if I lose out,
that's a major step.
Yeah, if I lose out or 1 or 2 collections, they're generally going to be smaller ones, and I'm not really going to care. But I have the attitude now, it's like, if I'm not buying this collection, or if you want too much money, good luck selling it to someone else. I don't know many people in the industry, and again, maybe now with Whatnot and stuff, they can buy some collections because they can flip them there. But again, with the adult stuff, it's very limited. So
right.
I tend to be less stressed when it comes to, competition at this point in my life. How about you?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is going to sound incredibly condescending. I don't have any competition. And the reason why is because, like you, I don't have to buy. Mm-hmm. So there's no competition on the buying side of things. I can walk away from any deal for the next 5 years and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that stress.
Right.
The only time that I ever really did feel the stress was at public auctions. Mm-hmm. Those aren't around anymore up here.
Right.
And if they were around over here, at this point in my life, having done what I've done for so long, I could carry a pretty big stick into a public auction if I needed to do so. Okay. If I wanted to win something at a public auction, as long as, locally, as long as the price wasn't insane, I could win it. And if it's insane, you're welcome to it, right, yeah. Obviously.
Well, we learned our lesson, too, at least me, that one time in the toy auction, we talk about it all the time, that, I kept outbidding this one guy that was our competition. You got all this truck full of cool old toys, and we paid too much on it.
We basically broke even when everything is said and done for our work. Yep.
Yeah, but then you get smarter, and you're like, hey, I'm not going to let that happen again. So, we were very shrewd after that.
Yep. And on the flip side, for selling, I don't have competition. And you're going to say, well, yes, you do. Of course you do. Well, I don't on Amazon as far as I'm concerned because I don't price match. I list the stuff and I forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm a list and forget kind of person on those sites like Amazon. So am I being competed with for? Yeah, of course I am. But I priced it low enough to begin with that, eventually mine will sell. I don't care. Yeah. And then you go over to eBay and I've got 27,000 items. How many of those 27,000 items, Mr. Magazine, would you guess that I am the only seller of? And I didn't count, so I don't know. But
I bet it's a good chunk, half.
I was going to say 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000 of those items.
Yeah, they're onesies.
I am the only person that is selling that.
Yeah.
If I'm the only person that has that, I don't have competition in those 10,000 items.
All you need is one person that wants it at some point in time. Like you said, it might be 10 years from now, or you listed it 10 years ago and now it's sold. But, again, it served its purpose and sold.
Yep. So you're talking 17,000 items that I theoretically have competition on. But when you get down to it, do I? And by that I mean you need 4 issues of a comic, and I've got all 4 of them. Mm-hmm. Somebody else has 2. Somebody else has 2. You're going to buy all 4 for me because it's one-stop shopping on that.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll be like, yeah, maybe he's a couple of dollars higher, but he'll combine shipping, and he's got all 4 that I need. And rather than, well, by the time I pay shipping from this guy and this guy and this guy, something, it ends up being about the same price for the same guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially like if you buy a run of something, I'm going to throw out there the bonsais and the carousel horse magazines. I picked up and you've picked up 100 of them. Well, maybe there's 3 or 4 or 5 on eBay, but there's not a whole run of 100 or 5 years worth where, the other guy sold his for $6, but he's only got one issue. Now you have every issue made. You can put 25 on there and sell them if someone needs
Right,
it.
that's a good point, too. There's 100 issues out there of it, and I've got all 100, and the most anybody else has is 12.
Right.
If you're trying to build your run, it's a lot easier just to come to me, buy all of them.
And that's where you don't take those little offers where a guy goes, well, one just sold for $6. But now I have them all. I'm cornering the market. If you want any more, you're not paying $6. You got lucky. Prepare to pay $20.
Right. No, absolutely. So I kind of wanted to bring this up, though, talking about competition, because things have changed so much over the last 20, 25, 30 years. And we've mentioned it before on videos that a lot of times now, at least here in Rochester, the competition is even less so. It's more cooperation than competition. I've had people tell me, hey, you got to go to the sale, or other dealers just flip stuff to me or turn me on to, oh, here's a deal, you got a deal. It's for you, it's for you, it's for you. Yeah. Because at this point, I'm established enough that they know who I am, they know what it is that I buy, and they'll just flip things over to me because they don't want to deal with them for whatever reason, or, just you take that deal, whatever the case happens to be. So I know a lot of times, and I don't know if the market was different 20 years ago, or if we were younger and not as established and had more testosterone going, where everything was a competition. It could have been that as well.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but definitely now that I'm older, I'm not seeing competition on the buying or the selling side of things, because, and maybe another part of it is having 20 plus years of selling under my belt, that you come in and you've got a lot of the same stuff as me and you undersell me on it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Right, yeah.
Good for you.
Exactly.
Because you're not going to get another one to undersell me a second time.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And guess what? Now I'm still the lowest price at this point on that item. Or I'm the one who's got the most of this stuff as far as this goes.
Sure.
So did just want to let you know out there, again, it has really, really changed. We've noted it any number of times throughout the years, but it's become a lot more cooperative than competitive out there, at least locally, for the things that we deal in. May not be the same in the card world, may not be the same in the Pokemon world, may not be the same in some of those worlds, may be completely different. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the age of the people selling the stuff.
Right.
I think if I were, 25 years old and dealing, let me ask you this quick question. Back in the day when you were 20, 25 years old, whatever it was, and you were setting up at the card shows, how cutthroat was that? Versus competitive. Versus
I didn't do much with boxes, more like single cards, and I was probably mid-level, so I had some higher end stuff back then. $500 card was high end, not 100,000.
Yeah, right.
But there'd be some guys who would undercut certain cards and stuff, but most people were pretty back then. A card that's common now is rare then.
Right.
And you could ask. I remember the guy Harry had an Emmett Smith card I wanted, some refractor, and it was worth $100. He wanted full price. A year later, he wanted $100. It was worth $50. He would not budge on his price. So some people thought they had gold mines. Other people were wholesalers and wanted to flip the stuff. But for me, I was very easy, and if I had a card that was 100 and they offered me 70, I'm taking it.
What about the other side though? Buying from if somebody was coming around with the show with stuff, there were people oh, I gotta have that, or were they?
There was some people. The sellers with the money were the ones scarfing them up generally. Especially higher end stuff. But there was guys like Levi. So if he had old stuff or a rookie, he'd be the guy that would probably pay more than anybody.
Right.
And then there's guys that had the new inserts. And I was one of those guys. And I never paid. Generally, I had my rule of thumb 50%. Generally speaking, if you want to trade, I'll give you a little more. But that's what I did back in the day. And I made some deals, didn't make some deals because there was someone always paying a little more if they shopped it around. Because unless it was something I collected, then I would have paid a little more just to put it if a Mantle card or an Emmett Smith card or something. Right. That.
Obviously.
But, that was mid-level. Happy with that.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit there, just knowing how the competition and cooperation and all that works out for you. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.